Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome this evening as well for another talk. Let's call it talk um, about um, the journey to the tarot. There's a miss letter there, and the journey to the tarot. Every time um, I, every time there's gonna be um, a new evening, uh, I will repeat a little bit of what I said the week before, and then move forward. And what I what I was when we met the first time last week, um, I basically talked about where the tarot came from, and the tarot were commissioned in Italy, um, during the Renaissance, around 1430, 1440. Then when you go and do research and you research these things, the information that there's a lot of information out there, and at times some may contradict what you found before. But anyway, approximately around this date, and the Viscount of the Duke of Milan commissioned the tarot, and basically the 22 major arcana were created, and the the trumps or trionfi in Italian. Um, this deck of cards was created just for the aristocracy. I'm not Alicia. Sorry, I'm not doing reading this evening. Um, the deck was created um, for the aristocrats to play. And keep in mind also that the Renaissance was a time in history, and especially in Italy. Um, if you look at the major arcana, they were created nearly in order to be rebellious against as a rebellion against the Catholic Church, because there's in the major arcana you have the Pope and the Papess in French, so that was a little bit. And this the major arcana were created, and aristocracy, they were playing with these cards, and the minor arcana arrived a little bit later. And in the meantime, the normal playing cards um, were used to play. And then they from Italy they started to spread across the knowledge of this deck, these trumps across Europe, and especially in France, where the Tarot of Marseille, this deck was created, and it was, during these years. Some argue that, the deck arrived in Italy. The tarot, a version of the tarot, arrived in Italy uh, through Venice from China. Some argues that arrived from Egypt. And one thing is sure, that the tarot, they encompasses um, different religions, um, different traditions, and throughout the years, especially in the 19th century, they were put all together in the tarot deck. And as I said, as I was saying last Monday, the especially the major arcana, we can find in the major arcana all different tradition put in there. Like there's astrology, there's Christian mysticism, Kabbalah. Um, mm, there are the elementals, numerology, which is very important too. And to me, is this the Jungian archetypes as well, and the planets. Uh, to me, this goes beyond the divination, because um, it's nearly a journey into a discovery of of the self. Yes, the tarot could help in the everyday life, if the intention to use it is that one. But my intention the intention behind this is not only uh, reading, is not only being able to read the tarot, but also to bring back the wisdom and all the traditions that all put all together, and can guide us uh, to to the discovery um, of ourselves. And this evening, I I would like to go into the presence of the Kabbalah. I don't know if call it tradition or religion in the tarot. Um, there are, as I said last week, uh, we can find also the Hebrew letters in the tarot, the 22 Hebrew letters. And apparently the number 22 is very significant in the Kabbalah, because it's the number of the life lessons. Plus, there's also the tree of life, in the Kabbalah tradition. Uh, but I will, I will cover this how it's linked, because it's not really um, clear when I was researching. Um, as I said before, I found information that were a little bit not mismatching, but one was opposite the other. So before saying something, I would like to be sure of what I'm saying. So, but apparently, also the Kabbalah tree of life is linked to the tarot. What what is sure is, as you know, the tarot comprise 78 cards, 22 mm, major major arcana, and then we have the minor arcana. The suits, basically, the suits of the minor arcana, they are completely inspired from the normal play card deck. So pentacles, we have we have wands, and swords, and cups. And each suit is also associated with an element or elementals. So pentacles, it's associated with earth. Cups is associated with water. Swords with air, and and um, mm, then rods with fire, um, mm, rods or wands with fire. And when we look at the tarot, and the influence of the the Kabbalah on it. Actually, I was just yesterday. I was looking at the card, and noticing more the symbolism in each depiction. And I was noticing, for example, if we take the wheel of the high priestess, um, we can see that the high priestess holds a scroll in her lap, and we can read Torah. And Torah basically is the Hebrew word for guidance. And many translate this word also with law, but I double checked this. I double checked it, and the meaning is guidance. So basically, in the past, and I think also nowadays, uh, for those who are really expert in for those expert in tarot, who know really all what they encompass. um, the the use of the tarot deck, it's really a journey of discovery. And when we look also at, for example, the Wheel of Fortune. In the Wheel of Fortune, we can see there's the wheel, and we can read tarot, and then if we read the word on anti-clockwise, it reads Rota again, and in between there's is written in Hebrew, um, God, the word God, which I don't know how to pronounce. Please, I tried, but it's really um, and and every there's also every section of the tree of life, of the Kabbalistic tree of life, is linked to each suit, and to each element. Um, so basically, the apparently in the past, according to this can be found in the book, the Kabbalistic Tarot. Um, at a certain point in their history, Hebrew were, um, they couldn't study, so they used the tarot to, they were used the tarot to play cards, but in them they were hiding the Hebrew letters, so they could continue to study. And the this book, the Kabbalistic Tarot, is by David Kravchov, and David Kravchov, yeah. Mm, and when, for example, when we look at other major arcana, mm, like um, like beside the high priestess, um, for example, the lovers here, um, which, many think that it's about romance, but in reality the meaning of the lovers is different. But if we look um, at the depiction, it's really about, recalls the scene of, um, the scene of Adam and Eve, the scene of the Genesis, Adam and Eve, and when they were, um, mm, sent away, but basically because Eve wanted to, wanted to gain knowledge, and that's could also represent um, the time, um, the time when, the one when the tarot were created, because really, uh, women didn't have, uh, you know mm, women couldn't study, and women were brought up just, um, you know just to, to become wives, mothers, or and and we can see here, um, you know really, in this major arcana, repeated, like um, it's like the confirmation, the confirmation that um, where what was the social status of women back then, um, in, in the Renaissance, and there are many versions of the tarot today, and some are softer, some because the rider weight um, is really the classic the classic deck that everybody would start with, and even if uh, seems very easy to read, and now I decided, I was inspired actually to do this. uh, i'm um, I'm realizing even more now how many how much symbolism is hidden behind in every card, and how much knowing about these the other traditions and religions could help can help uh, reading reading the tarot in a different way, really really reading them in a way that gives us mm, um, they can lead us to also self discovery, um, mm, self discovery, and my purpose um, with these evenings that mm, you know I'm doing, and then we have the other cards, and every mm, every suit goes from is divided, from 1 to 10. Then we have pages, the pages, page of wands, page of swords, page of pentacles, and page of wands. Uh, the knights and the queen, the queen and the kings, for every suit again. And again, we're going to I'm going to cover also where the figure of the court cards, uh, the queens and the kings, and the pages are the court cards. How the court cards were, came into the tarot, what they do represents, because the court cards are really figures that were taken from the everyday life, and they in you know to tell you really really quickly, this evening, the pages, they represent, usually according to the suit, They represent the novice, someone who is beginning something new. Um, the knights are more, um, you know, the advancement of the knowledge, and um, so there's this transition from being a page to be a knight, and then to becoming, when a king shows up, uh, whatever suits it is, it's someone that has really, um, represents knowledge, represents wisdom. It's someone that has really mastered, um, whatever they are doing. And the same can be said. The queens are a little bit different from the pages and the kings, because most of the times the queens really represent a type of, um, nurturing. For example, we have the Queen of Pentacles, which the Queen of the Queen of Pentacles, it's linked to the element of earth, and most of the times represents the, Mother Nature. Uh, rep- could represent someone who is very close to nature, and someone who is nurturing as well, because nature nurture us as well. Um, the Queen of Cups is more, a type of queen that nurture us on emotional level, and it could it could be, um, it could be it could represent the queen represents someone in balance with their emotions, and because as we know, the caps are associated with the water element, and most likely than not, the water element is associated with emotions, either positive or negative emotions. Um, but this is not always the case. It always depends on the way you read the tarot, and not only the tarot, but also any other oracle deck. Uh, as I was as I was saying last Monday, when we use our intuition, um, then we can't we can't really get get too much. We can't read and thinking with our analytical mind. Oh, this card means this and this. Um, we go with what we feel. We go with what we feel with that. We connect with we connect with the person. We connect with the deck, and intuitively we start receiving. the information. And one thing uh, I I personally don't discard right now at this point, um, is maybe paying attention more to the symbology on the card. Again, not, not thinking, not with my analytical mind, but more, um, let the the information flow to me, and as someone would do, like in mediumship, for example, when we receive a symbol, when we receive a symbol, feel into the symbol, um, and I would do the same thing here, and because there's really a lot to, um, really a lot to extrapolate from from a single from a single card. And I know that, um, you know taking the major arcana, or taking the minor arcana singularly, they mean something, but then, when use them together, the meaning can change. Um, but even there, if if we go to, um, a structured way of reading, mm, it's I'm not saying that the meaning wouldn't be, the reading wouldn't be correct, or but I feel that maybe, the risk of putting something of ourselves in the reading, that that could happen. And whereas when uh, we live, we let ourselves be guided by our intuition, there's no doubt that, um, the information is coming from, within us, and is not compromised by, um, maybe our unresolved, um, something, or maybe we are projecting our own things, personal things into the reading. And that's why I talk more about, doing a reading using the intuition, other than, um, yes, at times, other than, following the meaning of each, uh, each major arcana, each minor arcana, or, or suit. I remember, for example, I remember when I was doing the course, I told you, I was talking about last week. The teacher asked me to practice with another lady who was coming up. Um, Sorry, Eli, I'm not doing reading. And I know this is might be boring, but um, the teacher, I remember, asked me to read for another lady who was there, and mm, I had my deck there. I shuffled. I can't. Well, basically, uh, I let my intuition go, because I knew from from the previous experience. I knew that, with me, repeating the meaning of each card was not so. Uh, and this, I remember, this lady was. Um, I'm not going into the details of the reading because it's something private. But anyway, I the Wheel of Fortune. I remember the Wheel of Fortune came up, and I could, in the tarot, in the deck that I was using for that reading, which I still have. The Wheel of Fortune is uh, basically, um, has the a masculine face. So I knew that, I felt, and I knew that that was, represented a man, and at the end of the reading, because I was following my intuition. At the end of the reading, this lady, is how did you do that? I mean, how could you tell that this is the Wheel of Fortune? How could you tell that um, this is a man? And and I said to her, because when I was looking at the card, when I put down the cards, and then when I was looking at the Wheel of Fortune, I was drawn not to the Wheel of Fortune, the whole, but I was drawn to the face, the depiction of the man, um, in the deck. It's different. It's not like here in the radio wave, the Wheel of Fortune. Basically, in that deck is the Anson Roberts. I still have it, and here you can see the depiction like it's an Egyptian. Actually, it's like a pharaoh, and it's a man. And I knew that represent. I felt, actually, not I knew. Yeah, I knew and I felt both of it, that represented a man. Um, Hello, I'm not doing readings. Um, so now, with this new awareness, I would call it more awareness, and less, um, maybe a little bit more of knowledge, not a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Um, I know that I don't rely um, on tarot for readings, but um, at the same time, maybe seeing a new approach, with a new approach to it. I don't know. I I'm thinking about it, and I know that when I this afternoon, when I was looking as well, what the tarot are used for, even for that, um, the information that you can find, uh, online articles written by people who have an extensive knowledge on this subject. Mm, it seems like it has shifted, like the word divination, like it's seen more like um, uh, giving guidance through a reading, and also through the journey, especially with the major arcana, and going you know going into the world like a novice, like the fool, and starting from um, basically from zero, like taking really a leap of faith, which could have, you know not knowing, going towards the um, uncertain, and without knowing, without having a um, knowing about the outcome, but still having that faith, if you like, that faith that maybe the faith that things could turn out well as not. And it's also, each of the major arcana could relate to a part of ourselves uh, that we can discover, we can empower. uh, for example, even when we look at the magician, taking out for a moment now the symbolism. um, the magician is uh, that that person that can create, um, that that has all the tools uh, to create, but mainly mainly he the magician has that connection to not only the universal consciousness, but also to um, our natural world. And the magician draws energy, knowledge, and um, you know uh, and wisdom and guidance from both to manifest what he wants. So um, that's um, that's my, also how colors have, meaning, um, in each card as well, how they are combined, um, how they are combined together. The flowers represented, and the fruit, uh, as well, which in certain traditions, fruit represented abundance, represented a time, um, a time of abundance, a time of harvesting. Even when we look at the Empress is surrounded by a field of mature um, wheat, which is is ready for the harvesting. But and um, I hope that you find this interesting as much as I am. And if you bear with me for another couple of Mondays, mm, then um, I will show you how the reading uh, done with the tarot turns out in a different way from at least for me. Um, and this is uh, and this is something that it's basically the intention behind these um, informative informative meetings. Okay. um, for this evening, I'm going to finish now, and next Monday will be slightly longer, and uh, because um, I'm going to cover together other parts, the Jungian archetypes, and then uh, astrology and the court cards. Um, and again, repeating what I said this evening quickly, and moving forward. Okay. Uh, I know. I'm sorry for those who came along and were expecting a reading, but before, in 2 weeks' time, um, I'll um, I'll be I'll be ready to to read for you. In the meantime, if you are interested in learning a little bit together with me, because I'm learning as well. I'm rediscovering what what I learned a while ago, and I'm rediscovering sides that I I didn't go into back then, and and realizing that maybe I should have done that instead of staying on the surface, and being being happy only um, on of staying on the surface. So um, uh, I'll see you. I'll see you again next Monday, and thank you for all who are going to rewatch this. I hope you won't find it boring, because my intention is not to boring you, but actually to uh, you know uh, to raise, an interest in you. And thank you again to Veronica for giving me this opportunity. Yes, on Thursday, on Thursday uh, evening at 8 o'clock. No, at 9 o'clock. No, from 8 to 9. Um, I stays and I will be doing a question and answer um, session, and I'm really happy to be doing this with Stace, because I know Stace is very experienced. Is She's very knowledgeable. So uh, I'll be there. I'll be sitting there. I'll answering. Oh, thank you to you, Therese. Answering what I know, but I'm sure that Stace will be doing um, the talking, the most of the time. Most of the time. Okay. Thank you, everybody, and you'll see me again on um Thursday evening at 8 o'clock. Have a nice evening. Bye.